Hey, how's everyone doing? Thank you. Palestinian poet Murid Barghouti said, "The fish, even in the fisherman's net, still carries the smell of the sea." Growing up in India, I saw a certain version of it represented in the Western world. And it made me very aware of the issues of representation and the power dynamics in photographing someone. This awareness had a lasting impact on how I, as a visual storyteller, saw the idea of a photographer and those being photographed. When the shelter-in-place order was announced, I turned to my community to make portraits of people in their front yards. The slow pace of using a large format camera gave me time to reflect on my role as a photographer, and I decided that I wanted to give people more agency within my work. So I made black and white prints and invited the families to color or embellish their images however they liked. This series, Front Yard, uses collaboration as an equity mechanism and disrupts the one-sided gaze that is synonymous with documentary photography. It helped me understand the reality of my neighbors and people in my community. It showed me how powerful collaboration can be when we drop the barriers of judgment and open our worlds to each other. I'd like to share an Urdu couplet by Sahir Ludhianvi that I think has come to define my philosophy towards making art and visual storytelling. Fan jo nadar tak nahi pahuncha, apne meyar tak nahi pahuncha. Art that does not reach the needy has not achieved its full potential. I was raised in a family where being born a girl was problematic enough. And to top that, I wanted to be a photographer. My parents named me Ashima, which in Sanskrit means limitless or no borders. And I bet they did not anticipate I'll take it quite literally. I moved to San Francisco to try and put some distance between myself and the circumstances that dictate a girl should live a certain way. To try and live life on my own terms, with hopes of a better future. So last year, when the Supreme Court decided to overturn Roe v. Wade and criminalize abortion, I felt it in my gut. I was promised a better tomorrow in this country that was now my home, you see. And the more people I spoke to, I knew I wasn't alone in feeling this way. And the despair soon turned to rage. I needed to find a way to channel it. So when the draft was leaked, I took pages from it and redacted words to make haikus, to make some sense of what I was feeling and going through. With the 50th anniversary of Roe v. Wade approaching, I thought it was important to commemorate it and point out how this ban is taking us back all those years. I started reaching out to my circle of friends, hoping to get 50 people together, artists, writers, lawyers, and many more people, and that is how Haq, I Seek No Favor was born. Haq is an Urdu word for rights, and I Seek No Favor comes from an Audre Lorde poem, A Woman Speaks, where she talks about not being defined by her circumstances. This bilingual title reflects the multicultural identities that this abortion ban affects. In an act of civil disobedience, I took the 213-page Supreme Court document and divided it into 50 parts, which came out to 4 pages, and assigned them to each of my 50 collaborators. I invited them to respond to their distinct pages however they liked. Some chose to respond directly to their 4 pages, others had a different approach, with mediums ranging from photography, sculpture, painting, and many more. I'd like to share some of these with you today. I'm going to start with Justine Kurland, who is the first person to come on board and give her blessings. I knew I wasn't crazy when Justine said yes. This is her oil painting over the cover of Lee Friedlander's Nudes. Aspen Mays, who's a Bay Area favorite, cut out her 4 pages and turned them into photograms with the only thing readable is, "We end this opinion where we began." This grid that you see is actually the 4 pages of every individual. Elian Smithson used photographs of women from different eras and sliced them open to reveal pages from the verdict. I think it speaks of layers of trauma and abuse women absorb every day in order to move through the world. Rachel Phillips embroidered her 4 pages and left one word uncovered that I think truly encapsulates how we all feel: dissenting. Federica Armstrong, who is a dear friend and also in the audience today, made this cyanotype of a vintage cloth diaper and transferred pages of the verdict on it. Tara Pixley made a calligram using words from her pages. This is an image of her 12-year-old daughter, Breen, who, as Tara says, comes of age in a country which values control over freedom. My own piece in this series is a collage featuring Amrita Shergill, who is a pioneer of modern Indian art. She died of a botched-up abortion at age 28. Huck, I Seek No Favor, pays homage to Amrita and millions of people like her who have died and continue to suffer due to lack of healthcare and access to safe abortion. Each one of these responses speaks truth to power. In an act of defiance, we speak back to the system that uses our bodies as a tool for our oppression and perpetuates historical inequality. This process, however, has been extremely empowering for all of us involved. As we brainstormed ideas and discussed ways to respond, it was apparent to me that even though this was the same legal document, we were all affected by it differently. As Huck continues to grow, I hope it inspires you and empowers you to go beyond the traditional ways in which to react as a society. I hope it serves as a reminder that laws are not set in stone and can be as flawed as the people who've designed them. These responses are now compiled in a 56-page newsprint, which is basically a testament to our collective rage. The newspaper format lends itself well to a form that you can take to your family at the breakfast table, sit around it and have discussions, have debates. The cost was, of course, an important factor because not all of us have access to museums and galleries. So for $20, you can buy it on the website or places like Printed Matter. I hope you'll take this newsprint to your colleges, your universities, your offices, your city halls, and hold those people in power accountable and, I guess, make some good trouble. It is a year-long exploration with more talks and panel discussions, exhibitions that are planned, and I'm continuing to collaborate with more artists. We plan to make a box set at the end, which would hopefully act as a tool of education. So if you'd like to be a part of HUC in any way, please get in touch with me. None of this would have been possible without the support of the wonderful collaborators who have believed in HUC and have come together, so I'd like to thank them. I'd also like to thank the entire team of CatchLight, Elizabeth Christ, who invited me to share HUC with you all today. The theme for the summit this year is the change we want to see. And I believe that stories have power to change how we act, to change prejudice so we can empathize with one another. And we have a certain responsibility as visual storytellers to not only show things for what they are, but for what they could be. So we can be the change we want to see. Thank you so much.